your space with your host Hannah Arinitwe. Once again, we are right here to give you an opportunity to express yourself and express your views. We are available on all social media platforms at Your Space Uganda. Now with me today once again is my incredible team, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves and let us know how their week was. I will start with the lady right here.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Good evening, listeners and viewers. I am Patricia Chano-Kiria. My week has been splendid.
Lovely.
Yes, thank you, Hannah, for always having me. My name is Joel Sakwa. I had a lovely week. It was my birthday.
Oh, happy belated birthday. Where is the cake?
Thank you. Monica chewed all of it.
Hi everyone, my name is Monica Achayo. I'm very glad to be here. My week has been amazing. Thank you, Anna.
Okay, now today's episode is going to be a continuation of our episode on national unity. Now, during our discussion last week, there was a question that maybe we discussed national unity in a very complex matter. Now, I'd like somebody on my team here to describe to us national unity on a more relaxed and relatable kind of way. Monica, can you relate national unity for us?
Yeah, sure. National unity in simplified language is showing up for your gang. That's what I would say. It's like that clique, how do I call it? Okay, caning 5-0 kind of thing.
What is 5-0?
Okay, this is a thing of we have a common goal. Okay, in your small little cliques, yeah, you have a goal, and there is a team, right? So if Hannah is, if Hannah needs something, we show up for her because there is that particular beat. But now even maybe more relatable, national unity can also be related to clubs and agendas and events. By clubs, I mean like these clubs. Like clubs.
Thank you.
Like Rotaract or something like that, right? That they have a common goal that unifies them all. Yes. So national unity is on a bigger platform is the country having the same goal and people coming up with that different whatever they have to bring to the table to make sure that they can arrive at that goal. Yeah.
Lovely. What about you, Sakwa?
A little bit more corporate, although still simple. So, yes, national unity can represent, if we have a direction towards which we are heading as a country, we should do it as a people, as one. So if we say that we represent XYZ, everybody on the ground should represent XYZ. So if we have a single direction, then that represents the unity of a people.
You keep saying has to. Is it more of a compulsory thing that you must do? Is it compulsory for us to be unified?
Yes, I believe the Abraham Lincoln once said that a house that is divided against itself cannot stand. So, okay, that can be quite like more political, but I think it's relatable. If we have a nation where there is a lot of things, there is a lot of antagonism, even when we don't agree with each other, we go ahead and not look for those ways how to reconcile our different views, I think that nation cannot stand. It is a must. It is a must for there to be unity.
Dr. Patricia, how would you describe national unity on a more relatable kind of manner?
From my perspective, Hannah, I think national unity is the art of coming together. Different people coming together to harness one another's potential with a view of building this nation. You realize that this nation is comprised of different tribes, different ethnic, traditional practices, different people, different languages. But if we come together with our differences and harness one another's potential, because people have got different skills and competencies. Like Monica talked about Rotary. People come together to promote the good of the others, to take care of the unfortunate people, to serve humanity. But if people can come together with different backgrounds, different skills, to harness each other's potential for purposes of moving in one direction, like Sakwa says, that is national unity. And for this purpose, we look at the direction of national development. what is it that we can do for purposes of leading to that direction of national development, meaning that we pull the hands of the weak ones and bring them together and move together as a team. Because people have got strengths and weaknesses along the way. So we need to all come together, support each other with that one aim of achieving national development.
I like that you brought the concept of team working together, but when you reach on ground, on our everyday lives in our universities, schools, wherever we are hanging around, you realize that the youth have started to bring on a concept of individualism. I don't know if they call it capitalism as well, where we feel that everything should be mine and I should struggle alone to achieve it. Why do you think we have that kind of mentality, Sakwa?
All right, as the world is advancing, whenever we adopt a globalist agenda, like you feel like you're no longer a citizen of Uganda, but a citizen of the world. Okay? So the issues and ideas and attitudes of the people of Uganda no longer that much matter to you as a person, because the attention has shifted to allegiance to your country, but rather to the world. But then I believe individualism, of course you said it's a concept of capitalism. Yes, I totally agree with you, because as we go forward, we want to believe that we want to achieve what's best for us. That kind of selfishness and disregard for the interests of the country and the interests of society, I think that is why we are tending to go towards a direction of thinking as an individual. But
in most cases, nobody just dives into a certain direction. There is always an instigator within. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to talk about, Monica. So what is that instigator? I want us here on your space to dive back to the root cause, so that when we come out with a solution at the end of the episode, we have a way forward. What instigates that kind of world kind of thinking?
Or you're asking what instigates this idea of individualism and stuff? I think it can be really from personal experience. I struggled with that too at some point. Okay. It can be taken back to the wrong notion or belief that the crowd only slows you down. They are extra baggage. You can't run with everybody. If you're to be something and somebody in life, you need to walk certain paths alone. And then we're giving rise to people called self-made individuals. And then it is a whole notion of this guy made it all on his own. So I don't need a group. I don't need to belong to a bigger purpose.
Idealized kind of concept.
Exactly. I don't need this ABCD. I don't need to belong here. All I need is a vision and the will to do it, and I will get there. And of course we have people coming up and telling you, I did it, I'm self-made, nobody held my hand, nobody did this. So the whole idea of I'm not entirely against individualism, but from the angle you're bringing it, if it becomes too much, it can become a negative fact, right? Because now we're talking about it from that angle. So the individualistic nature comes in with, according to me, it's really pushed by the entire notion of the crowd slows me down. I can run faster when I'm alone. Yes.
My experience on your space has clearly leveled the fact that an extreme of anything is negative. An extreme of something good or an extreme of something bad is not good for your health. But so now that we have realized we have this kind of individualism within our society, how then can we promote national unity? Dr. Patricia.
Thank you very much. There is a saying that if I want to go fast, I go alone. But if I want to go far, we go as a team. Which is very, very important. Like Monica has elaborated, individualism, first of all, helps you to retreat, examine yourself, be creative, come up with concepts, and then you bring out and test it. In the process of testing, you share. But the other negative aspect of individualism, which I want to touch on, it promotes selfishness. And selfishness is a driver of corruption, because it also degenerates into greed, where it's about me, myself, and I. But if we are to promote national unity, I think we need to promote it as a team. We need to move as a team in order to go far. As an individual, you can move fast, but without morale from the other team,
Exactly.
you can slow down and give up the race. But when you move as a group, you're capable of going very, very fast. So we need to denounce acts that undermine national unity and promote acts that promote, encourage togetherness and promote commitment to the common good. So if we define what the common good is and we begin to work towards it, I believe we can achieve much as a country. Yes.
I think we are living in, I don't know, this is my opinion. You say it fast. Some people believe that me moving fast is good enough. I don't know if that's a kind of a mediocre mindset or if it's just a... So why are you shaking your head? Some of us do believe moving fast is good enough.
I totally disagree with that idea because even when you achieve it all, at the end, there is no fulfillment. And remember from the very first episodes we have been elaborating that at the end of an understanding of the national values, whatever step you have reached, you will be fulfilled. You will be fulfilled as a person in your family, as a person in the workspace, as a student, whoever you are, you will be fulfilled. And that attitude of, oh, let me achieve it. You know, there's a man in the Bible, it's called Solomon. He seemed to have achieved everything in life.
Yes.
So he gets to this place and he's advanced in age. He has a lot of wealth. They say all cups and everything in his kingdom were made of gold and silver. So he reaches this part in his life where when he feels like, yes, I've achieved everything, but there is no happiness. Where is the fulfillment? Why was I fighting all my life to just get into nothing? So I believe it's better, even when you run faster and you're riding alone, try to pull someone. Yes,
move with somebody.
So that you can move far.
Exactly.
Yes.
So Monica, how well can we be able to promote national unity and pick out that individualistic mindset among us?
I think the best way to start is showing people how they can be a part of the national unity. You know, it's one thing to tell me there is a vision, but if I don't see my part and lot in that vision, it's going to be hard for me to relate to it. But if you can come and tell me, oh guys, we can arrive here and this and this and this, and there is a space for everybody.
Who should be doing that?
When
you
our
say
fathers
we,
and mothers,
our fathers and mothers,
fathers, mothers, leaders in the spaces, whoever has the voice, the author of the vision, whoever is in that space should take up that notion, because it's not enough to tell me this is the goal. Some people may be able, for some people it could be enough and they can tell, okay, this is the goal, what can I do? I can do A, B, C and D, right, to belong to that goal. But there are those whom you need to break down certain things too. They'll be like, okay,
so
Monica,
they can understand.
Yeah, so they can understand, because you see, it's important because I think the greatest child or the firstborn child of individualism is corruption.
Exactly.
Because you don't have accountability.
Rewind that a bit. What did you just say?
The greatest child or the firstborn child, the stubborn of individualism is corruption. You're not accountable to anybody. You're your own boss. You don't have anything you're going to be held accountable to. And so that becomes a bigger problem to the country at large. So killing individualism and promoting national unity is also for the entire good of the country as well. Yeah.
Okay, let's take a breather. We're going to be right back. Welcome back from that mini break. You are still here on Your Space with your host, Hannah Arinitwe. Now we're getting into the breaking down of national unity and making it as relatable as possible. Now there's something Monica said that actually excited my brain a little bit. That corruption is the firstborn child of individualism. And that got my mind tickling a lot. Now, Dr. Patricia, I do have a question. I have been in Uganda ever since the day I was born. As what's it giving up? I was born, and I'm curious to find out how can somebody access this kind of drive, because I've never experienced it. How can I say firsthand before? Monica said who should take the lead on this, parents, leaders in the spaces, are there specific places where we can go to maybe attain this kind of national unity drive?
Well, thank you very much, Anna. Growing up, we had a subject called civics, where we were taught about things to do with patriotism, unity of purpose, being helpful to one another. And in schools, we had clubs like the Girl Guides, where the Girl Guides and Brownies and Scouts would come together and learn from each other about what they need to do to help the country. Now, when you go back to national unity has got advantages, and one of the advantages is to promote social harmony. When there is national unity, then there is social harmony, and people are able to work together. It also unites the nation, it increases economic growth, and promote loyalty to the nation. Where can we go to learn national unity? It starts from home, from foundation, from upbringing. At home, if you are not taught to live together in unity with your siblings, then it becomes a problem when you get out of the home spaces and you're at your work or other places. You'll not be able to work in harmony because it was not instilled in you while growing up. So it's a message to the parents out there. Bring up your children with unity of purpose. A family that prays together lives together and are able to stay together. And when you're able to stay together as family, then even when you get out as from family and you're in your workplaces and other places, you're able to promote that unity of purpose and be able to work together, be able to promote national unity in the country. So I think that is what I have to say. It all starts from home, from upbringing. We don't expect the teachers to take it up, although later on it becomes their role, and the Ministry of Education can take it up, the Ministry of Gender can take it up, and other sectors and civil society. But it starts from home. If national unity is planted in somebody's mind right from home, then that person is able to fit in and be able to coexist among his or her peers and be able to live and work together, because people come from different backgrounds, like I said in the beginning, and people have got different skills and competencies, and if they can marry those skills and competencies together, then we can be able to achieve the national unity we are talking about for the good of this nation. Thank you very much.
I do know that both Monica and Joel, you are leaders in your own capacities, which you're going to share with us right now. But now I'm very curious to find out, why do you instill national unity in those specific leadership roles that you hold?
Me or Sakwa? Okay, thank you so much. One reason as to why I do that personally, just to tell people, I'm the founder of Anothen Foundation. I have an Anothen Foundation. Yes. We have a team. I have a team, sorry. And why is it important for me that the team is unified and they have the same goal? Of course, in relation to national unity, is that it kills splitting seed, mixing seed, and also rebellion as a whole. Rebellion in terms of, if we have two different visions we are running with, we are like a house that is divided amongst itself, and it cannot within itself, and it cannot run. So why do I promote national unity? Why do I promote unity in that space that I'm in? One, the goal can be achieved a lot faster and more efficiently, and I also acknowledge the fact that there are things that I'm good at that others ain't, and there are things that others are good at that I'm not in. For instance, our group, my team, we do graphics. Like, we need some flyers out, maybe we're running a fundraiser and stuff like that. I don't know how to make that, but we have someone on the team who can do it, but he doesn't have the information that should go there. So there is someone else who knows how to do that. So if we can all run and agree, these are the colors we're going to use, this is the information that's going to be there, and this is the person going to make it, we can have that thing out in less than a day. But if we put it out there and we're like, what do you guys think? How should we proceed? Yes. It will take a week or two plus 3 other meetings to finally arrive at a conclusion. So unity saves time, the goal comes in a lot faster, and it kills the entire notion of rebellion. The reason as to why we haven't had any serious wars as a country is because of there are aspects of national unity. There are those that even if the banner is shaking, they are holding it up, and that is why we are enjoying the peace that we are having.
True. Yes, Joel.
I've been in positions of responsibility in church spaces, and I will assure you, handling people, dealing with people is not an easy job.
Yeah.
And why? Because Uganda is basically, if I may use an image, a coat of many colors. It's like we have people from different cultures, tribes, people from different backgrounds. Someone will disagree with you with no basic reason, but just because they just want to disagree. And I think that's the challenge of being a leader, eh? And it teaches you that when you're in a place of a position of responsibility, you have to take it a notch higher. You have to think above the interests of those people that you're leading. You have to think like, okay, I have X, she has these interests. I have Y, she has these interests. I have this other person, they have these interests. How do you come to create a consensus between these conflicting interests? I think that's the greatest challenge of leadership. And unless you master that code,
things will always be crazy.
Yeah, very crazy.
Maybe, Hannah, I have to add something. Because in order for people to grow and live in harmony, the heart and spirit needs to be aligned with trusting people.
True.
So we need to be in trusting relationships. If you don't have that trust, then you can't live in harmony with others. Individuals must be empowered to first of all believe in themselves before they begin to believe in others. So we need to talk more, extend this conversation about trust. How do we build that trust? Because if I don't trust my neighbor, how then am I going to be in social harmony or live in unity with that neighbor? So I think we need to work towards building that trust, to work towards believing in one another, so that our hearts and our spirits are aligned in building those trusting relationships.
True.
Yes.
But then I know these days people always make jokes about toxicity. I don't know if it's just a joke or it is something that they actually think is quite serious. But now that we have delved into that, I want us to know, how then do we move on from this episode? How can I, as an individual, achieve the national unity, even in the smallest activities I am doing? Monica, how do we achieve this?
Okay. Personally, what I can say is pay attention to what the need of your community. National unity can only be achieved if you are alive to the necessities in your community and your society. I'm not meaning country. You can begin at village level.
Yes.
What is the need? We have so many people who are in vacation, and there's so many schools without teachers. When you go into those how do you call it? The villages.
Yes.
And you are in Form 6, you are in Kampala. The knowledge you have, you can teach someone in P1, P2, P3, very good English, how to rewrite sentences. You can go and volunteer. You can start from there. That is you playing your part
Towards the goal.
Towards the goal of let us have an educated and self-empowered nation. Let's not have any limitation stopping us from achieving the greater goal.
I think I've realized so many of us hold ourselves bondage, even when we have capacity of creating a change, even in the smallest and simplest ways. One of the things I always tell the people around me is use what you have to achieve a goal. Either it is a national goal or your own personal goal. But sometimes we are very short-sighted. I don't know, Joel, how can we achieve this on our own personal level?
Okay, first addressing that which you said, at times we are short-sighted. You see, there is nobody that was born into this world without a talent, without an ability. You remember that episode we were dealing with creativity, yes. And we all realized that, wow, people are gifted. And it's really interesting to know that it's actually ironic to know that someone can decide to take their life. It's sad. And they think they cannot add anything to the community. It is really important for us to instill that confidence I know there is something I can bring on the table. There is always something you can bring on the table. It is even when you're disabled, there is something that you can bring to the table.
True.
So national unity is more practical than theoretical.
Than us speaking about it.
Yes. Now there are things that represent us as a country. So first of all, interest yourself. What represents Uganda as a country? Now, that thing, those ideas, those ideals that represent us, it may be culture-wise, it may be politically, it may be religious, in all aspects. What represents us as a country? For example, when somebody goes outside, they should be able to talk about this country with confidence, and they say, yes, I know what Uganda is.
Speaking of that,
Yes.
One of the creators in Uganda called Raymond Malindi, he works with Disney. He released the very first Ugandan animation story on Netflix.
Wow.
I mean, it is running all over the world.
Wow.
And it's quite impressive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hats
Yes. Actually, those are the things that should be taking us a step higher, especially considering that our generation, like our country, we most of us are the younger generation. So we should take it a notch higher. Represent what represents us. Don't represent yourself and your wrong ideals. It is really absurd. Some people go out there, then they post all the wickedest kinds of ideas. Sometimes I imagine and I say, wow. Wow. And then there's this saying, people used to say, Chiri Uganda mama nyabo. And then you wonder.
Yes, Dr. Patricia, before we get to close the episode, how then do you think we can achieve this national unity among ourselves?
We can be able to achieve national unity among ourselves. One, if we have built the other trust, and two, if we are proud to identify as Ugandans wherever we go, and three, if we can promote this togetherness and promote and respect one another. If we respect one another, respect the cultures and traditions and the practices, and be able to coexist. But first of all, it's very important for us to promote tolerance, irrespective of people's backgrounds, irrespective of their origins. We need to tolerate one another, and we need to avoid discrimination. When we begin to discriminate, then we pull ourselves away from each other, and we'll be in disunity. But if we have hospitality, we respect one another, we treat them well, and Ugandans are known for promoting this hospitality. When you meet a Ugandan out there in Dubai and they tell you Jebaleko, you know that yes, this is Ugandan and this is what we are used to saying and doing together. Then living a life devoid of discrimination against other tribes and encouraging intertribal marriages. And when you go back to schools, in those different spaces in the universities and hostels, you begin by doing those little things that promote your well-being, to be able to exist together. You can go and watch Arsenal or Man U together. You can go to Nambole and also watch Uganda Cranes. And it brings you together, and you begin to identify with each other as Ugandans and promote love for your country because you support your country's national teams and careers. Yes.
Now we're just getting into the close for the show. I'm just going to allow maybe Monica and Saka to give us their last word, and then we're going to say bye-bye.
Please, let's be united. I mean, it's our country. If we don't build it, no one else will.
Yes, Sako?
Yes, love yourself, love your country.
See you again next Sunday, same time, same place, right here on UBC. See you. Bye-bye.